special Halloween episode of GHK Radio with me, Harune, and my special co-hosts, Girl DM and a hand.
All right, yes.
Give him a hand.
He's so
Thank
handy.
you.
By the way, so we no longer have Kai. We now have. You want to introduce yourself?
Let's heckin' go! It's Domo. How does he introduce himself? He doesn't really introduce himself, does he?
He doesn't.
No, he just kind
it's
of goes,
me.
let's heckin' go.
No, heckin' go is me.
No, yeah, but he uses stronger language.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know who Domo is. Like, I only know because you talked about him once, Kai.
Do you remember that Japanese VTuber I showed you one time? The white-haired fox one?
Yes?
She was watching that video with the burgers. If you vaguely remember that VTuber, I'll show you the video again later.
Okay.
But he has a history. He has a history with that side of VTubing, and now has he's kind of been introduced to the English side and has been making a splash lately. So as a joke, I'm Domo for Halloween. Hello, Domo.
Well, it's definitely the easiest costume.
That's what you think. Rigging this was not hard.
I just meant as a hand with googly eyes.
I mean, yes, no rigging involved. I'm just sitting back here behind the boxes with googly eyes.
Kai can give us a hand.
If I could reach any further, Domo would give you a head pat.
Head battery. I thought you were gonna threaten to bite her.
A bite with the hand is
exactly.
It's like grandma gums.
Just grip DM by the head. Eagle Tama.
No.
Gripping food with force.
I love that Twitter.
It's so good. But anyways, yes, hello, welcome. It's Halloween special.
It's a special.
So we're here in our Halloween costumes. Girl, what are you?
I am a Chinese hopping vampire zombie, also known as a jiangxi, which I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but yeah.
No, that's pretty on point.
Hey, nice.
Ayo.
So it's pretty much like most of the time they're corpses that have already gone through rigor mortis, so that's why they have to hop. They can't walk anymore. So they hop at you. They usually have long nails, but I don't have long nails. I just have black nail polish.
They're super cute.
Thanks. And they're usually controlled by a necromancer, so that's why they have the talisman on their heads usually.
Oh.
And if the talisman gets ripped off, then they kind of go like mad cannibalism spree.
Oh, naruhodo.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit of fun trivia for you as well. They also hunt by smell, but specifically for the smell of people's breath.
Oh, that's
so
weird.
If you hold your breath, they can't find you.
Oh. See, I feel like I've seen like references of that, like just sprinkled throughout my childhood. Like, I distinctly remember like people like covering their mouths, and I always wondered like, is it just to stop the sound of their breathing? Like, is that what they're worried about? But maybe it was for their breath.
Stop the smell.
Yeah, that's so weird though. The first time I've ever seen a Janshi was actually in Shaman King.
Yes.
Yeah, and I had no idea it was called
loved
that.
him so much.
I
loved
know.
him so much. Oh, he was one of my favorites.
He was basically Bruce Lee. Yeah,
Bruce
exactly.
Lee.
I love Bruce Lee.
What was his name? Like Lee Byron, I think. The
Yeah, I think it was Lee Byron.
Yeah, it's been a
the
long
one
time.
who was fighting for Jun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so sweet.
Jun was the older sister of Taoran.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, and Jun had that long cheongsam.
yeah,
With like the
so
slit
cool.
up the leg, and I was like,
Jun and Lee, Jun
Chef's
and
kiss.
Lee were like my two favorites, and then Faust and his Ghosty were my other two favorites.
Oh, Faust was
Like,
cool. After he freaked
Faust
me
was-
out.
Oh, he was so cool. He was so freaking weird at the beginning, but then he was just like so cool. But also, they're remaking Shaman King.
I
Yes,
know,
they are.
super big
Yes, they
hype.
are.
Big
I
hype.
am so happy. I am so happy. I get to
huge-
see I get to see Jun again. and Lee Bong. I love him.
I love go ahead.
I want to say Horo Horo used to be my favorite.
Horo Horo.
You seem like the type that would like Horo Horo the most.
But that was when I was younger. Now that I'm older, like I feel like I relate to Ryu more.
To Ryu?
To Ryu, yeah.
So the very first time the very first realization that I ever had that I was beginning to comprehend the Japanese language in a slightly more deeper level was actually when I was watching Shaman King and CableOW.
Yeah.
Like, so there's just this one particular scene, I think it was Taoren who just shouts, Bakana, right? Like, which is, like, impossible. Like, how could that be? And CableOW just out of nowhere just goes, Banana! And I died. It wasn't even all that funny, but it was like a 3-second bit of silence. Like, I paused it. And then I just started, like, uncontrollably giggling. And I think it was part because it was just so silly, I wasn't expecting it. And secondly, almost this, like, giddy happiness that I was like, the fact that I found bakana, which is a phrase I now know and understand, like, beyond just what it translates to, but, like, I understand, like, the intention behind the words. And the word banana. Like,
banana!
Like, I was like, this is the first Japanese pun that I get. And it's not even that good, but like, so CableOW holds a special place in my heart now.
Yeah, CableOW.
Just for that. You big sweetheart.
Yo.
But, yeah. So totally not related to Halloween, but kind of, because spirits and shamans.
Ghosts, spirits, shamans, right?
Yeah.
There's graveyards in it. That's spoopy, right?
There's graveyards. There's death involved.
I mean, yeah, we were talking about just Jiangxi in general for Girl
Spooks.
DM's costume. And
Yeah.
Harune.
Hey,
What are you
what's
dressed
your
up
Halloween
as, I
costume?
wonder?
Oh, this is no mystery. I am a witch. But actually, this is not the first time I've had long hair. But for so many who might not have met me at that time, this is probably a first for them, and in some ways maybe rather jarring. But this is just long hair, Rune. I got long hair, and now you have a big fabulous hat. Shout out to Deet for putting the hat on for me. Thank you.
Nice.
Funnily
it
enough,
was a small hat before.
Your other long hair model also had a really large hat.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was the magician model you used earlier in the year. Long hair is just so magical.
I know, it like makes all my hat pieces huge.
Do you know what I just realized? Harune. Kai's bald.
What? No, hey, Domo's bald. I'm fine. I've got a perfect head of two-tone hair behind the boxes here.
You've got
Domo's
get a
bald.
really weird shaped head,
Domo
Kai.
is bald. I'm so sorry, Domo. Domo, if you ever listen to this, I'm so sorry.
You bald Kai.
Got a weird shaped head, my dude.
Unlucky.
Unlucky. Hey, where's your nose?
Where's your nose?
Can't smell the stinky.
Uh-oh, stinky.
All right, I'm so sorry. Done bullying.
Why are we making fun of Domo? Why are we making fun of Domo?
That's what's trending on Twitter. That's why.
Sorry, I'm done teasing Kai and this Domo person whom I've never met. Probably a terrible first impression. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm so sorry. Okay.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
But
oh boy.
So I thought for our Halloween special, we could share spooky stories.
Spooky stories. Ooh.
Yeah, just like either stories that we've heard from like friends and family, or maybe even like some encounters you might have had like personally. And I know, whether we choose to believe it or not, right? I'm sure there are things that have happened that just can't be quite explained.
Can't quite explain it. It just happened that way.
Right,
Dun,
exactly.
dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun. So I thought, why don't we do? So, I don't know. Girl, do you want to go first?
Okay. Let's see here. Spookiness. Okay. So, back when I was working a different job, I got sent on a business trip to Korea.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't know you've been to Korea.
I have. I've been to it was in Seoul and Busan.
You went to
That's a
Busan?
business trip. Yeah, I had to take a day trip to Busan. That was was scary but not creepy.
Did you take a train to
to
Busan?
Oh, you beat me to it.
I did. I took a train to Busan. You got me.
Oh, spooky, scary. That's why you're a Jesse now.
No, baby. So, I was there for 1 week for the business trip.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much I had like daily appointments for different businesses that I had to go to talk to them. And then I had essentially free time otherwise, which was pretty cool. And so one of the business trips I don't remember which train station I got out at, but there were two, like, they looked like they were maybe university age students, were out there, and they were talking, and they were like, they could speak English, and they're like, hey, are you visiting Korea? And I was like, yes, yeah, I'm here on a business trip. And they're like, oh, okay, that's really cool. Are you interested in Korean culture? And I was like, yeah, I'm interested in Korean culture. I went to the cultural center like the weekend that I arrived. It was really cool. I got to wear a hanbok. And they're like, oh, do you like wearing hanbok? I was like, yeah, hanbok are pretty cool. I like wearing them. They're pretty. They make me feel like a princess. I've been watching historical dramas.
I love how it seems like they're talking to a child, like, you like dresses?
Right.
Do you like
I'm in
dresses?
Do you want to be like a princess too?
Yep, and I'm like in a business suit during this whole entire exchange.
Oh, that's cute.
And I'm like being friendly and everything, because like I like talking to people, and like I was like, maybe we could be friends, kind of thing, right? And they were like, did you know that it's Chuseok, which is like one of the cultural holidays coming up. They're like, it's Chuseok's coming up, and it's like you remember your family and such. I think, like, I'm not too knowledgeable on what actually goes down because of this situation.
Yeah, sorry, wasn't that like Korean Thanksgiving, or maybe I'm?
Yeah, it's kind of. I think it's something kind of like that.
That's sweet.
But anyways, so they're like, oh, so if you're interested and you want to like wear hanbok, we're gonna be doing a Chuseok thing tonight. If you want to come at our community hall, and I was like, well, that sounds pretty neat. I think I want to do that. That would be pretty cool. I'm working right now, but I'll be off, and then I can come back. And they're like, okay, meet back up here at like 6:30 p.m. because I didn't have a phone that worked with like in Korea. I just had wherever there was free Wi-Fi, which there was a lot of free Wi-Fi, but I didn't have a phone plan that actually worked in Korea.
I understand those feels.
Right. So I go back and I meet up with the girl that was there before. And she's like, okay, the community hall is really close. And I was like, okay, thinking we're going to walk there. No, we get on a bus. We're on the bus for about 25 minutes.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, this is weird. Okay. So we get off the bus, and there's this community hall building, and we're kind of like out in the suburbs, and I'm like, wow, there's no more English written on things out here.
Yeah. Ooh.
So we go into the community hall, we go up there, and she helps me pick out a hanbok, and we put the hanbok on and everything, and she asks me for my name and my birth date. I'm like,
you don't need to know my birthday.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So I write down just like my name and then my first name, and I think I put my brother's birth date down. And they're like, because we need it for the ceremony, and I was like, there's a ceremony involved.
It's a cult.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds like a cult.
Yeah, so we go into this room in the back, and I had to follow along with the leader people for like. They burned the papers that had, like, our names on them, which I think is, like, actually part of Chuseok, like, traditional stuff. We had to do a lot of bowing stuff, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I wasn't allowed to look up at anybody.
Oh, that's
I had to keep my eyes
weird.
down the whole time, and we had to do this thing, and I was just like, I don't know what the heck is going on. What the heck is this? And then afterwards, we had food.
Oh, okay, that
it was
sounds
like
normal.
fruit. it was like fruit and stuff, and I was like looking at the time being like, I want to go back to my hotel now.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to get back because I'm in the middle of nowhere. I followed this crazy lady who I thought was normal, just wanted to be friends. We're humbug, ha ha ha, cultural experience.
Oh.
And so then the girl that had like gotten me from the train station was like, oh, so the ceremony and everything is like pretty expensive. And I was like,
that's
ma'am,
not my problem. That's not what you told me.
Yep. And then she straight up asks me for like $100.
And what, did you just straight up go nope?
Well, I opened up my wallet because I'm smart when I travel. If there's a safe in the hotel room, I'll put like my money into that safe, but I'll divide it up like I'm like a pack rat. I'll divide it up like the essential money will go hidden in one of the little pockets that's kind of hidden in my luggage, and then I'll have the emergency stash, which I'll put inside of the little locker, and then I'll only take the amount that I'm intending to spend for the day into my wallet.
That is
so
smart.
it was already the end of the day, so I only had like $10 in my wallet.
Oh, good.
I was like, I don't have any money. And she was like, oh, can you take money out at the bank? And I was like, none of my bank cards work in Korea.
I am not from here.
And she was like, oh, and I was like, and all of this money that I do have is from my business that I work at, so I can't give this money away. Which was a lie. It was my own money. I just got reimbursed afterwards for like buying food and stuff. So she was like, oh, okay, and kind of gave up, which I was just like, woo, I got free food.
So then does that mean, did she just let you go after that? If you're like, oh, well, if you can't afford it, then...
She wanted to introduce me to the wonderful, wonderful leader of their community group. Who she had a great amount of respect for. He changed her life. He was a grand spiritual leader.
Yeah, that sounds pretty culty.
Everybody owed their prosperity to him.
Oh.
I was at that point, I was just like, oh, okay, this is 100% a Korean cult. I didn't think it was this easy to like get picked up by a cult in Korea, but here we are.
100%. 100%.
So thankfully he was busy talking with, like, there was like a group of older ladies that were like almost crying, fawning over him.
Ugh.
And he was just this like middle-aged like dude, like
I just see.
It was just like this middle-aged dude. And she was like, oh, he's busy right now. How long are you going to be in Korea? And I was like, I'm leaving tomorrow, but I wasn't.
Oh yeah. Yikes.
But we took. She directed me which bus would like take me back to the train station. Like she didn't even write it with me back. But
oh,
thankfully
good.
I got off at the right stop because it stopped at the train station. And then I was like, okay, if anyone ever asks me anything again, I'm just gonna tell them no.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because like that could have been a really great experience had they not duped you.
Yeah, like, if it would have just been like, hey, we're going to do a ceremony thing, it'll be like this much money, blah, 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 do you want to come along and do it? Then I would have been like, oh, yeah, cool, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, probably not after hearing it was $100, but I would have been like, oh, cool, kind of thing, right? But, yeah, that was interesting. And then, like, of course, when I'm riding the subway train back over to the area where my hotel was, I'm just, like, sitting there going, wow, a lot of things could have gone wrong there.
Yeah,
I didn't have a phone that worked. I'm by myself in Korea. I'm not supposed to be back in Canada for another 5 days.
Oof.
Nobody knows. Like, I could have been poof gone.
Oof.
Yeah.
Whee!
I mean, behind these boxes with my other hand, I was checking on my phone, and like I was like, oh, maybe there was a bit of a misunderstanding, because what I found was that during Chuseok, there actually is a custom called charye, which is like it involves a lot of food, and like you have to bow twice to it because you're offering it to like the ancestors, and it does involve burning a piece of paper. But it's supposed to have the name of the ancestor you're kind of respecting.
Oh.
As like an offering to the ancestor. So I'm like, oh, maybe there was a misunderstanding.
Wait, but that was my name on that paper.
Exactly. Like while I was reading, you're like, oh, by the way, also they were asking for money, and the cult leader was very charismatic. I was like, oh no, yep, it's...
Yep, yeah, that was
I
a
was
cult.
like, they probably took elements of Chuseok, but...
Probably just to make it, like, more familiar, I guess.
Yeah,
Boy, oh boy, that was a little bit spooky.
That's
just a tiny
big
bit
yikes,
spooky.
girl.
Yeah, halfway in, I was like, no, this is definitely a cult.
Yeah,
100%.
It's a cult. It was a cult.
Dodge that bullet.
Yep,
Oh,
went to a
dear.
cult meeting. I escaped. It was a little scary.
Pat, girl. Pat,
Thanks. Thank you.
Goodness gracious. Big scares, big scares.
Big scares.
And, like, that to a lot of people is probably way more terrifying than any other, like, than, like, a ghost story or a story about some sort of alien encounter, because that's so real, right? It could really happen to anyone. Like, you can't just be like, cultists don't exist. They're not real. Like, that's...
Right?
You can't even have that argument.
People disappear.
Yeah, exactly. So it's wild. It's crazy.
Crazy. I went to a cult meeting.
At least you got
Was
free
the food good?
It was just like, it was plain fruit. It wasn't really anything special.
Oh, hey,
$100?
Chudie is supposed to be, like, really good food. And a lot of good drinks.
Yeah, there was absolutely no alcohol. If there would have been alcohol, I probably would have been like, oh, there was a cult, but they gave me booze. It was cool. They didn't give me any alcohol. Sorry, cult, I'm rating you 0.5 out of 10.
Oh, 0.5 is generous.
Yeah,
they tried to rob
could have
you.
been a solid, solid 4 if they would have been like, here, it's all you can drink.
A solid 4 for all you can drink.
I
If
mean,
I'm
like
gonna
all
get
the other horror
inducted
that they
anyways, might as
right?
well, right?
Right.
Oh, goodness.
Just sloshing the glass. I'm gonna need this to listen to the next half hour.
Just yeah, right. I should have, because oh my goodness, like the ceremony thing itself took forever, and the bowie thing, like bowing to food twice. Okay, that would have been completely easy to do. But the other thing that they had me do was like 10 bows, stand up, spin around, bow over again, and it wasn't even like bowing at the waist bows. It was like Dolgeza style, like onto the ground bows, stand up bow, stand up bow, stand up bow, stand up bow, and I was just like, I'm tired. I've been walking all over Korea.
That's right. Like,
I don't know what this custom is. I don't want to do this.
It's an aerobics class. They straight up had you doing burpees.
You had me doing burpees in a hanbok. Feels bad.
Ugh. That's awful, though. I'm glad you made it out.
Yeah.
Me too. I was fine, and now I have a story about it. Yay!
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 Hooray for story!
Yay, it's a story.
Yay! Well, Kai, what's your story?
Mine is very mundane compared to what DM just pulled out. Mine's
DM's
also
is
very
unique.
much like
That's okay.
grounded in reality kind of fear.
That's fine.
Okay, let's go.
So this I came with like 3 stories prepared. Like one of them is really, really short, but like all 3 of them happened while I was in university, because that's when like the scariest things happened to me. I have recurring nightmares of like an exam where it'd be like I'd be sitting in front of the exam room waiting for them to let us in. And it's like, oh, I never studied, or I started studying the morning of, kind of thing. So that's like a pretty frequent, pretty relatable terror of mine. So I always like handwrite my study notes, and I always have like a whole like pile of it, like sifting through it in front of the door the day of the exam, just to make sure everything's real, just to make sure I did study, etc., etc. So I go in there for this exam, and I showed up an hour early. I was the only one sitting outside the door, an hour ahead of time.
Yeah.
And studying. People slowly started filing in, and I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. This is okay. Yep. It's always people I don't recognize, because there's a lot of different classes of the same course. So I thought, oh, maybe my friends are sitting like in front of the other entrance or whatever. We go in, and it's assigned seating. Everyone has a number. So I don't see my friends around me, and I'm like, no, that's perfectly fine. Probably they were assigned somewhere else. Oh, no. So I sat at my assigned seat. And the person that seat actually belonged to didn't show up.
Oh no.
So I didn't have the awkward moment that was like someone coming and saying, "Hey, that's my seat."
That's my seat, right?
I didn't realize until the professor started handing out the exam papers that...
Wait, did you recognize the professor?
I did not. The professor walked by. I thought it was like a TA. I thought an assistant came by. It's just someone handed me a paper, and I looked at the cover, and it was like Year 1 Geological Studies.
Oh no!
What exam did you have to take?
Year 3 Algorithms.
Oh no!
Oh god!
And I'm just like, hang on. What?
Yeah,
I know I got here at the right time. I know I got here at the right time. So I like pulled out my phone, and they're like, "You can't have your phone out during exam." I'm like, "I don't think I'm supposed to be here."
Yeah, you're like, wait.
And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, I'm supposed to be taking Algorithms 3. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, that's in the MM building."
Oh no!
And then it struck me, I'm in the MA building.
Oh no!
The MM building is across campus.
Oh no!
Which,
So did you book it?
If I booked it, it takes 5 minutes to get there.
Oh.
It was 10 minutes like before the start time.
Oh my gosh.
Not even. They let us in 10 minutes before. When they passed the papers out, it was like it was the start time basically. And they locked doors. They locked doors 15 minutes after start time.
Oh my gosh.
My mind blanked. I basically had to like run to the front of the class to like just like go through the pile of backpacks because everyone left their backpacks at the front of the class. So I'm like, which one's my bag? Which one's my bag? And then I had to run all the way back to the class to get my jacket. Which one's my jacket? Which one's my jacket? And then I was like sprinting. I had to cross like 2 parking lots across the campus to like get to the M building. And they locked the door 15 minutes after start time. I got there 14 minutes after start time.
Oh my goodness.
Everyone was already like heads down, pencils, like doing their thing. And it was like the scariest thing to happen to me academically at that school.
Oh my gosh.
I get it. I absolutely get it. I would be terrified too. Just like, because that is literally everyone's worst nightmare other than showing up to class with no pants on. But
right.
I mean, I've showed up to class in like pajama pants. That's fine. No one cares.
Different. I meant like
that's
not
different.
wearing
like,
pants.
No, like you forgot your pants completely.
Yeah. That's
like
apparently like a reoccurring
nightmare, right?
Yeah. I've actually had that nightmare, not super frequently, but like it's weird that like not a nightmare that I was genuinely afraid of, but like one that I remember vividly was like I was back in like elementary school, like 6th grade or something, and class was being held outside in my parents' backyard, and I walk outside and I'm confused, right? Because why is class outside in the backyard? And then I look down and I'm like, the more important question is, where are my pants?
Oh no.
And I don't remember anything after that. I know I felt like super embarrassed, but like no one was reacting. Like I was just like, is it totally normal for me to not be wearing pants right now? So I like
is this okay?
went back inside the house and I think I woke up.
Something's not right here.
Yeah.
It was like Inception, where you're like, there's something wrong, but like everyone else is just acting like it's totally fine. But yeah. But kind of that is a spooky story.
Yeah, that's my
IRL
that's my first
story.
of 3. But Harune, why don't you take a turn?
Harune.
Well, I don't even know if these are like good stories. I've got a couple to share. But when I was in actually probably around the same time, like late elementary, maybe even middle school. But I feel like that couldn't have been it, because there was one girl who I associated with during this time who moved. No, was it? Yeah, I think she moved by middle school. So it must have been 6th grade, because middle school for us was 7th grade. So, in 6th grade, a couple of girls and I were starting to get interested in, like, Wiccan things. And
everybody has that stage, right?
Right, exactly.
You were that type of, okay.
So,
wasn't me, but all right.
Well,
it's a girl thing.
It's like horse girl. There's always a horse girl,
right?
You know?
Yes, right.
So.
It's always like that.
But we were the Wiccan girls. No, like, it's not like, you know, we like decked out in goth clothes and like wore pentagrams every day or anything like that. But it was just like
She
sort
definitely
of a
did. She definitely did.
bruh.
100%.
I'm pretty sure, Harune, I'm guessing, this is me reaching here, but were you the type that when you were in school, you like made sure that your presentation, exterior wise at least, was like acceptable terms for people?
I don't know if I actually I didn't really care all that much. I didn't dress in sloppy clothes. My mom used to, like, my mom would buy all my clothes and, like, you know, always sort of dictated how I was to wear my clothes for a really, really long time. Probably all through elementary school. And I think, like, when I had to start getting up earlier for middle school, she didn't have, like, time or energy to be like, no, don't wear that, wear this instead, and, like, things like that.
Yeah.
So, I think by middle school I started kind of slacking on the outfits.
Yeah,
but in elementary school, I think I was pretty well dressed.
But not so much like not like spike stuff or like.
Oh yeah, no, very very clean. I was a very clean
stuff,
child.
Right, yeah, that's what I thought.
I was a very standard child.
Yeah, me too. Like, but I always in my dreams I was like, man, I'd like to have a grunge phase. That would be cool.
yeah. I think that's probably as close as I got was in middle school, and like it wasn't even grunge. It was just like I got to wear like. I was allowed.
I got to.
But it was like, you know, hoodies and
yeah.
jeans and sneakers every day, and that was like my outfit for all of middle school and all of high school.
Yeah.
And then college I started to dress better. Because I was like,
Can't relate.
Well, because I was like, I'm gonna be, you know,
university.
I was going in with a double major, one of them being piano performance, and I was like, if I'm gonna be a pianist, I gotta dress the part. Like, I don't want to look like a slob. Right, I don't look like I'm homeless, so I started putting in a little bit more effort. But anyway, that aside, so in 6th grade, a couple of girls and I got interested in like Wiccan things. I was always spooked by ghosts. This was also around the same time where I was like starting to train myself to not be afraid of scary things by watching like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures and all that stuff. And I am not ashamed to say that it like. That hobby still exists, right? So like my hobby of watching spooky things and like watching Ghost Hunters, not Ghost Hunters, I'm sorry, Ghost Adventures specifically has carried. Like I still watch them to this day. So it's been a long time. But so one of the things that we tried once on like one of the very rare occasions where I could actually have a sleepover was we tried doing a very basic ritual.
Is it the Luigi board?
No. I would have never touched a Ouija board. But we got different colored candles, and each candle was supposed to represent something different. We cast the circle. We invited each element in. And I don't even remember what we were doing, like, with this ritual. I just remember, like, casting it. And I remember we were sort of talking very seriously, and it was done in one of the bedrooms at my parents' house, and we had the lights off and things like that. And in the middle of our conversation, I remember pausing. Like, for some reason, I just kind of like cut off. I got this weird feeling. I looked out the window. There was this bright flash of light, like a flash of lightning, but it wasn't raining and there was no thunder. And I was like, I all of a sudden was just like, guys, blow out the candles really quick. So we blew out all of the candles. I flicked the light switch on, And, like, in that moment, my mom walked through the door.
Oh!
And we had, like, in our haste to, like, blow out the candles and things like that, we had, like, sort of turned ourselves around, so it sort of looked like we were just sitting and our backs were covering the candles.
Nice.
So she was just like, "Oh, what are you guys doing in here?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing," and stuff. We're just having a chat. And then she left, and I can't explain it. I have no idea what that was. I don't know what that flash of light was. I don't even know if the other girls saw it. Maybe they did, but like everything happened so fast. And yeah. So that was that's my one story.
Nice.
100% she could smell candles burning, right? Like,
they were small.
You probably didn't get away with that.
No, probably
not
not
necessarily. Like, maybe
Really?
she might have smelled the burnt candle smell, but like maybe she just thought you guys were lighting candles, not necessarily doing witchcraft.
Right. And my mom has a very sensitive nose. Like I mentioned before, she's allergic to anything that breathes. So
Yeah.
like in the new place that I live in now, she like the first time she came to visit, I don't have any pets, by the way, but the previous owner had, I think, a cat.
Mhm.
And she walked in after I moved in and she was like, "There's a pet smell in here. You gotta get the smell of animal out of here." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "I smell pet."
I smell pet.
No, I smell pet.
No, yeah, like I had to do something that involved lighting matches, and like I walked in the house, and my parents were immediately like, "You smoking? You smoking out there? I'm like,
You
"No."
smoking? Are you doing the tobacco?
Tobacco
Kai,
I
tobacco
wasn't.
sue.
I wasn't. I was
course
trying to
not.
light a barbecue.
Aw,
Close.
close enough. Close enough.
But yeah, so not really a spooky story, but just like a situation I can't explain.
Yeah. Pretty neat.
Pretty weird. Girl, do you have another story to share?
Mine are more like about scary people usually.
Do it. Those are so interesting to me. I don't hear enough scary people stories.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just like creepy guy.
Ooh.
Probably, yeah,
Oh.
just another creepy guy. Happy ending, but creepy guy story. All of my stories always wind up being like when I'm traveling by myself.
That's usually when like the weirdest things happen. They see that you're
pretty
alone
much.
and they want to like mess with you.
Pretty much. So I was with a group of friends and we were in a train station in Nagoya. And we were in Sakae Station and we're just like, it's late at night, all the bars had already closed. Like it was near closing time and it was like near last train time. And this guy just walks up to our group. There's like four of us foreigners.
Okay.
And this guy just walks up to our group and he just starts talking to them.
That's already weird.
Talking to our group, right? Talking to our group and he's like trying to speak English, but he doesn't really speak English.
Okay.
And he's just like, my two guy friends, bless their hearts, are like doing their best to try to communicate back with this guy, but he's just like, he's very disheveled and he's repeating the same things over and over again.
Was he drunk?
No, like, well, I didn't smell any alcohol.
Huh.
Like, usually that's a good tell. But, like, he's just repeating things over and over again. And, like, the two guy friends are, like, trying to be like, okay, you're trying to speak English to us.
It ain't working.
Don't know what I don't know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. So we're just like, we need to leave, but we don't want this guy to like follow us because we've like started trying to walk as a group and the guy like came with our
Oh my
group.
god, and you're like, "No, please stop.
And we're just
Stay
like,
there."
Stop.
Yeah.
Right? But he's like being weird, being creepy guy. And it's like nighttime in the stations, like not many people are in it, so it's kind of spooky. And so we're just like not sure what to do, and I just pull out my phone and I pretend that I got a phone call. And I'm just like being very energetic, being like, "Oh yeah, we'll be there right. We're almost on our way, okay?" And like I hold my phone down and like cover the speaker part. And be like, "Guys, they're waiting for us over at the room, so we need to head out now." And like somehow like the urgency in my voice kind of like clicked for the guy, and my two guy friends went along with it too. Thankfully,
Yes.
sometimes they didn't like
Sometimes we don't quite catch those cues. Sometimes we're not great at that.
We're just like, there's a thing. We need to go to the thing. And they're like, what thing? Just like, but anyway, so I was just like, and they followed along, and the guy was like, oh, okay, bye. And I was like, oh, goodness, that worked, thankfully. Mm-hmm. And so, like, we're walking down the station tracks over to our train, and the guy's not following us. We were, like, checking behind us, and my two guy friends were like, wait, who called you? I was like,
oh my gosh.
Nobody?
Oh, honey.
That was just, I was pretending to take a call, and I'm like, but it sounded so real. It's like, how many times do you think I've had to use this? Come on.
Oh my goodness.
That
just
I've
done
the same tactic where I had to like pretend I had a phone call and be like, yep,
yep,
hello, yes, very important call. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I gotta go. Never coming back again.
I've used the same tactic. I know that very well.
Yep, but just kind of a weird guy. Not really scary, but weird guy.
Did you hear what he was saying over and over again?
It was like slurred and kind of gibberish. It was just like a random mishmash of English words.
Oh, okay.
And so not much we could do, and he wouldn't speak in Japanese to us either. So it's just
that's weird.
It was really weird. I don't know what was going on with the dude.
Well, another situation in which we're glad you're safe.
Yeah.
And that time you had two guy friends with you, so that's good. You weren't by yourself.
Yeah, I wasn't solo, which was good.
Good.
There's been a couple times with the solo.
Kai, it's your turn again.
Well, would you like the short and sweet story or the more atmospheric one?
That's up to you, because I think we're all gonna end up sharing maybe like 3 stories or something.
Yeah, I've got one more after. I've got one more left.
Okay. Why don't I go atmospheric so I can disappoint you all with a short story later?
Let's go.
I'll keep my most disappointing ending for last.
Perfect.
Okay. So, again, like I said, these all take place during university, so this
University.
was yes, being the absolutely amazing student that I was, my top priority in school was video games. And there was a particular game that was really, really, really obnoxious to sign up for. You had to like jump through hoops, get on a VPN to enter a lottery at a specific time frame. You get the 1 hour time frame to enter the lottery to get a ticket to sign up for an account. It was incredibly obnoxious.
That sounds weird.
But the server was based in Japan. So I had to, like, on a Tuesday, stay up until, like, 3 a.m. Which, I mean, I do quite regularly now. But as a student, it's like I still had class, like, 8 in the morning. So I was like,
well, now you have work early in the morning. So what's the difference?
I got used to it. I wasn't quite used to it back then.
I see.
But, so yeah, it's like 3 a.m. Okay, I gotta stay up. That's fine. No problem. The internet in the house went down.
Oh.
So I'm like, ugh, okay, gotta make my way to the local cafe. The local cafe's got public internet. Cafe closed at midnight. I'm like, ugh, okay, make my way to the campus. Bust into an empty building. Empty school building. Even the janitorial staff weren't there. Sitting by myself in, like, one of the public lounges using the school Wi-Fi.
Bruh.
Got until 3 a.m., signed up for the game, all was fine and dandy. I look out the window, it's like, okay, time to go home. It's just absolutely storming.
Oh, no.
So you're sitting in this, I should say you, I'm sitting in this, like, completely empty school building. There were like eight floors to this building. Just rows and rows of classrooms, all empty. Classrooms were all like no lights, and the hallway lights were all motion activated. So the room I was in was lit up.
Oh, good
Lord. Oh no.
And every footstep I took was deafeningly loud as I like kind of like plodded my way across the building.
Oh my gosh.
so it was already kind of an eerie atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
But so I just slapped on some headphones, put on some like, pop rock music, and be like, it's okay, everything's fine and dandy. We're just here to party. Time to go home. 3 a.m. walking home in the rain, lightning, kind of thing. And it was a good like 35-40 minute walk home.
Oh,
so,
that's far.
I'm walking. The streetlights aren't on in the particular road that takes me home.
This is a lead
so
up to
I'm
murder.
Walking in like the absolute dark, in the rain, just listening to, I can't even remember, it was like Abingdon Schoolboys or whatever. It was something silly. And then as I'm walking, I think I see some lights in the distance. And it's getting closer.
Uh-oh.
And it looks like a car, and I'm just like, I'm just a little, I'm just gonna step a little bit aside to the side of the road, let the car pass and not think about it. The car slows down as it's approaching me.
Oh, no.
But it's still pitch black. I can't see anything but the headlights.
Right.
And so I start getting a little bit nervous as it's like slowing down as it approaches me. I'm like getting just a little boop-a-da-ba-ba in the heart, like this could be unsavory. This could be an unsavory situation. And I had a fear. And then the car stopped next to me.
Oh my god.
And it was a police car, and then I had a different kind of fear, and I was like, ooh.
What did I do?
What did I do? And they rolled down the window. And there was one guy in there, one patrol officer in there. He sticks his head like towards the window and was just like, You running away from home? And I realized what I looked like. I looked like an absolute bum soaked in the rain, just like with my school backpack on and my laptop trying not to get it wet. And it's just like, no, sir, I'm on my way home.
I just needed some internet.
And he's just like, where from? And I was like, campus. He's like, you're a student at XYZ school? And I was like, yes.
Oh no.
And then he like turned, like, he like put on the, what are the lights called? The lights
sirens?
that is like the,
No.
the ones that are like stopping your car, like the blinkers that are like
like emergency lights?
Emergency, yeah, it's just like, he was clearly here to stay. Throws on the emergency lights and just like really leans over, and it's like, what were you doing on campus this late? Why are you heading home this late? And I'm just like freaking out on the inside. I'm like, what do I say?
This is it for me. I'm going to jail.
I can't believe a Japanese video game's gonna put me in prison. I'm just like, it was for a game. And he's just like, so vandalism's a game to you? And I'm just like,
No, sir.
I was, the home internet went out. I wanted to download a game.
Oh my gosh.
And then he like looked me up and down and was just like,
saw your Crocs and went, yes, this man's a weeb.
oh, okay.
The story checks out.
There's been occurrences of like vandalism and like graffiti and this and that. He didn't even ask to check my bag and was just like, do you want to ride home or something? It's kind of raining. And I'm like, yeah, I could tell.
I would love a ride home,
and
thanks.
then
Are you sure?
I was like, no, I'm good. No, sir, I don't want to get in this car. And then he's just like, yeah, well, it's dark out. I'm like, no, really? I couldn't tell. Just be careful on your... I don't know why I got really sassy as soon as I realized I wasn't in trouble.
This man
Stopping
his car in the pitch black to ask you if you are a graffiti artist.
Yeah,
running away from home.
The popo was asking if I ran away from home. And then I got home. It was like 4:30 in the morning, and I'm just like, I'm gonna sleep for an hour, and then
do it all.
And then I ended up sleeping for like 6, and I woke up. It's like noon, and I'm like, I didn't make it to class. Guess I'm not going to class today. Oh well.
Oh well, spend the day sleeping.
And then I got an email. I didn't win the lottery ticket for the account.
Aww.
Oh my goodness, Kai.
But hey, you got a story out of it.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
It took me another 2 weeks to get an account in that game.
Oh no.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, that was my second story. Like I said, it was more of an atmospheric kind of fear.
Yeah,
anything
but definitely, like I
supernatural.
can definitely imagine how spooky that would be.
Yeah.
Right?
It was unsettling how dark and quiet it is. But then, like I said, you get used to these kinds of things, because then, like, by year 5, because I was supposed to be in a 4-year course, but I stayed for an extra half year, because I failed the class. I was always, like, in the library doing work, because I didn't want to work at my home. So I was always the last one out of the library. It's, like, 11:30, and, like, the campus was all shut down. So it was, like, I got very used to a pitch black campus.
Yeah.
Because then I realized there was like a shawarma place like a block away that I could just go to for like midnight poutine.
Nice.
Hey! Wait, shawarma places sell poutine?
Yeah, this was like a really student town, so they had like a lot of like student ready foods.
They have a
And
lot
the
of
shawarma
combo
place-
student ready foods. Yep.
Exactly. So they had like what was it even called? The beef that you got on the big spinny pit.
Kebab.
Kebab? Yeah, they had like a beef kebab poutine, and it was really good.
Ooh. That sounds
So
good.
I'd get like a midnight poutine and then like take it home and eat until 2 in the morning. It was like big serving too because it was a student town. But anyways, yeah, that was my story. Harune, do you want to take a turn?
Harune.
Okay. So, my grandfather both my grandfathers passed away when I was really young. But one of them I never got to meet. And the other one passed away when I was 5. And at that time, my dad's younger brother, so my dad is a middle child. He's got an older brother himself, and then he's got a younger brother. And so my younger uncle had 2 kids, or has 2 kids, I should say, and the second child was born significant number of years later than the first one. So when I was 5, this cousin was just baby, infant. I don't even know if baby could talk. I honestly don't remember. But my grandma, she lived by herself for a good number of years after my grandfather passed away. Maybe like 15, 20 years on her own. Before she came to live with me and my parents, and then we took care of her until she passed. But my grandma, I remember her saying, and it used to freak me out because, like I said, I was young and in training, right? In training for not being scared.
Training.
Not when I was 5, but like she had told me this like many years later. So like, you know, when I was old enough to kind of understand what she was saying.
Yeah, virtual personal assistant in training, you know. Yeah.
In training.
So she said that within the next several weeks after my grandfather had passed away, she said that, so like the routine always was like before bed, my grandfather would go through and he would check all the doors and locks, and he would just lock all the doors and, you know, get everything set for sleep. You know, that's normal.
Yeah, standard.
So obviously, since my grandfather had passed, my grandma had to do all of that. So she had turned the lock on the front door, and it's one of those like heavy turn locks. It's not super heavy, but it's like those ones where it's like it's either vertical or horizontal, and you have to turn it vertical and it locks.
Yeah,
or horizontal. Yeah, like a deadbolt lock. And so she turned that, and then she turned the lock on the doorknob, and then she walked away to, like, I don't know, fix herself a bowl of cereal or something in the kitchen. And she said while she was in the kitchen, she heard the deadbolt turn.
Oh.
Ooh.
And she went to go check, and it was still locked. But she swore she heard it, and it's got a very distinct noise. Like, this is a dibble that probably hasn't been changed since the 70s or something. Yeah. Like, they did not upgrade anything in that house. It is very much what it was.
This is sturdy.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So it's not like a new sound that she would not have recognized. This is a sound she's heard for years. I almost said centuries, but she's not. Centuries. She was not that old.
Wow, Harune, how long does your family live?
Wow.
But so I mean, I remember when she was telling me this story, she was like, "Oh, it's just, I knew it was just your grandfather, you know, just double checking my work and making sure." And I just remember thinking, like, "Grandma, weren't you scared? Like, I'd be scared out of my mind." And then, the reason why I mentioned baby cousin was because after my grandfather had passed and baby was no longer infant, but just baby, right? That could be babysat by someone else and didn't need mom and dad all the time. And baby could talk. My aunt and uncle would drop baby off at my grandma's house to just kind of hang out with grandma. And my grandparents always had the habit of standing on the driveway and, you know, waiting until the car has left and is like heading down the street before they would turn in and walk in the house. They would always, I remember distinctly them just sort of standing on the driveway and always waving. That was always something that we would do, and we would always honk before we drive away. So beep, beep. Yeah, exactly, the little two beep beep, and that was it. But they always waited for the car to leave and be down the street, right, before they would turn and go into the house. So my grandma was still in that habit. She's holding baby. She's waving at my aunt and uncle as they leave after dropping baby off. And so car is long gone, right, down the street. My grandma turns to walk back into the house, and she feels baby waving behind her, and it says, "Bye-bye, Grandpa." And my grandma's like, "Baby should not remember Grandpa. Baby was too young to know what Grandpa looks like. Why does baby know Grandpa?" But she wasn't. Once again, she just said she wasn't scared. She just felt like, "Oh, Grandpa's looking after me." But like, I just remember being so scared. Like, when she would tell those stories, I'm like, I'm terrified now. But even though it is Grandpa, I always had to like try and tell myself, "It's Grandpa. It's Grandpa. It's fine. No reason to be scared." But like those like little one-liners, "Bye-bye, Grandpa," right? Like, bro.
Yep.
Bro, no.
Spoopy.
Yeah.
Spoopy.
So that's my
Spoopy.
those are my stories.
Your stories.
Yeah.
I mean, there is those like theories, those claims that very, very young children and animals are more kind of in tuned with the spiritual side and all that.
Right. Their minds are more open.
Right.
They haven't it's learned to shut that out yet.
It's not uncommon to hear that like maybe babies and animals could see things that adults or more grown-up humans can't see. That I don't know why that reminds me of a special little charm that I heard when I was young that I never tried, but supposedly if your pet starts just kind of like barking or meowing or staring at a corner for no reason, it's because something's there.
I don't like that. I don't want to hear that.
And I was told it was a cat in the example that I was told. If the cat's staring in the corner and you can't tell why it's staring, you need to get behind the cat and like lower yourself to eye level with the cat. And
why?
Then like basically you're hovering right behind the cat and look at where it's looking between its ears.
Ooh.
Why?
The little supposedly the little area between its ears would, as they say, share the cat's vision with you.
Oh, so then you can see what the cat's looking at?
No. That was what I was told.
No.
I need to find a cat.
Nope.
Wait, I'm a cat. Here, Harune, look between my ears.
No, I don't want to. I'm scared.
Look between my ears. Look between my ears.
That was something I never tried because none of the people I knew owned a cat. Like all my friends, all my family owned like dogs. My family didn't own a dog. My cousin owned a dog and all that. no one I knew had a cat, so it was something I always like thought about in the back of my head.
Oh my gosh,
but,
no.
Yeah.
I have an
It's
aunt
like-
that breeds cats. I should go over to her place and be like,
Just
be
looking
hey,
between the ears
aunt,
of every cat.
Can I just hang out with your cats for a day, please? Let's see
Just
if any of them
crawling
do
behind
like
the cats,
crazy-
peeking between their ears.
Ugh,
What do you see?
thank you.
What do you see? Is there a spook? Can I see the spook?
Of course, that could. I mean, it could have just been like the kind of like superstitious stuff. I still haven't to this day. I've not tried it, and I'm sure if someone's tried it, they would have. Either this is like the world's most best kept secret, or like
Kai has revealed it to the world.
But yeah, no, I don't know why
Nice.
when you said baby waved at grandpa, that reminded me of like,
like maybe if there was a cat there, the cat would have been able to see it.
maybe if you looked between the baby's fingers.
Oh, yeah. The baby was doing a peace sign.
Ew.
Hey yo,
Ew,
grandpa.
Grandpa. Thank you.
Like that. Perfect.
Peace out, Gramps.
Peace. Oh my gosh. Yeah. To say I'm now just slightly spooked is a tad bit of an understatement. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like looking behind myself all the time now. I'm
Good
freaking
to
out.
be honest, I haven't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
gotten much of a spook yet from these stories, but I'm
No,
glad
that's
I
fine.
managed to.
I'm really easy.
I'm glad I managed to spook one of you at least.
That's good. That's good. Meanwhile, I'm just like, I need a cat. Someone get me a cat.
I'm really
How do I
easily
look
spooked.
between my own ears?
How do I can't do it. I'm trying. It doesn't. I can't do it.
Wait, Lena, look towards Harune so I can see from behind you, between your ears.
What do you see? What do your elf eyes see, Domo?
The ghost of my success as a VTuber. Oh my god, my career.
Oh, terrifying.
My career is dead. Oh no. Kai's been cancelled? What is this hashtag?
Wait, didn't that already happen?
Twice.
Did we cancel? Yeah,
Yeah,
we already
we've canceled
canceled you a couple
multiple
times.
Twice.
Yeah, it's not sticking. We got to do it again.
Hello. Yep.
you keep recovering. You keep recovering from cancellation.
I am all powerful. I'm
Too
I am
strong.
I'm the
strong.
VTuber poltergeist that will always come back to be a pain.
Oh, there he is again.
There I am.
Oh,
again.
there he is. Oh, hey, look who's back.
It's Kai. Kai's back again.
No, I'm Domo today.
Oh, okay. It's Domo.
I'm Domo today.
Domo.
Artemis, where's Artemis? I need to passively aggressively flirt with her.
Flirt with her.
Furt.
I'm sorry, I was
What?
drinking water
Sorry,
as
sir?
well. I still had like a half a mouthful of water when I said
need
that.
to flirt with her.
I need to
Okay.
flirt with
inappropriate.
Artemis.
Must
It
flirt.
sounds. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he ever listens to this podcast, I'm doomed.
Oh, I'm gonna link it to him.
I'm doomed.
He's my kohai. I gotta link him to stuff that he gets mentioned in.
Yeah.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Yeah.
There is also.
I've got
Oh,
another. I've got
Yes,
another one.
I've got one last one too.
Yeah.
but
I've got
Yeah.
chills, they're multiplying. And
I'm sorry for interrupting. Harune, was your
Control.
I don't know the rest of it.
Power. Da, 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 da. It's
electrifying.
electrifying.
You gotta shape up, ooh, 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 'cause I need a man. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Funny thing, the Monster Mash isn't actually the song The Monster Mash. It's a song describing what the Monster Mash is.
That's right. I've always wondered that. And he did the
Right?
mash. He did the monster mash. I'm like, what is it? What is
The
it?
Monster Mash. You tell us.
It
It's
was
kind of
a
like-
graveyard smash, duh.
At least like Tenacious D was like, this is a tribute to the best song in the world. It's not the best song in the world. It's a tribute. At least they said like they clarified that in their song. But Monster Mash, come on. So
Come on now. Come on. So,
Okay.
Sorry for interrupting you, Harune. Are you, like, is there more to your story?
No,
with,
that was it.
With Baby?
That was it.
That was
Okay.
That was it. Oh, you're right there.
No.
Domo choking.
Almost choking.
Yep.
Oh, there he goes.
You're gonna have to resuscitate him, DM.
I
You're
had
the
a
closest to him.
handful of broad beans.
Oh, unfortunate. I can't see Domo anymore. Weird.
But,
Here, let
I
me look
can't
between your
resuscitate.
ears. Oh, there
Yeah, there
he
you
is.
go.
Oh, no.
There he is. He's a ghost. Okay. Let's see. Do you want? There's two options. There's another real spooky and a spooky. So you get one.
Ooh. Let's do a real spooky.
I mean, why don't you go with one of them? I'll tell my last one, and then you can tell the other one.
Then I'll have 4 stories. That's a lot of stories.
That's a lot of stories because you're You're so interesting, girl, Deanne.
Wow,
Jeez.
I keep on putting myself into situations that wind up being terrible later. Okay. I'll tell the actual spooky one. So, this is something that happened earlier this year.
Oh.
You became a VTuber. Oh, horrific.
Dun, 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 spooky. No, so usually on Saturday mornings, my parents will go out grocery shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll usually wake up, like, during the time when they're gone grocery shopping, and I'll just get, like, my stuff ready for the day. I'll make myself breakfast, and then I'll usually help put the groceries away. So one of the mornings I woke up, and I could hear someone downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, huh. So I got up, got out of bed, and start, like, going down the stairs. And there's a woman inside my house.
Oh my gosh, I remember this.
I remember this story.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Keep telling it, though.
Yep.
Keep telling it, though.
Yep. There's a woman inside my house with a very large black Labrador. And she's talking to my younger brother. And I don't know if listeners know this, my younger brother has special needs, and he's pretty much nonverbal.
Mm-hmm.
So this lady with this large black dog is trying to talk to my younger brother. And my younger brother, I can tell, like, looking at him that he's a little freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady's, like, getting her dog into our backyard.
Oh.
From the inside of our house. She's in our living room kitchen area and has the back patio door open, and she's getting her large black Labrador into the backyard.
What the heck? Okay.
And she sees me, and she's like, "Oh, hi, you don't remember me, but I almost raised you."
What?
And she was like, "Yeah, I used to take care of you when you were little."
Yeah, I remember the story. Yep.
And she's like, "Yeah, you just don't remember me. That's too bad. Like, I used to come here all the time. Me and your mom are good friends, blah, blah, blah." And I'm just like...
Get out.
I was just like, "Get your dog and leave. I don't know you. You need to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know you. You need to leave." That's all I'm saying, like, repeating over and over. And, like, when she's like, no, but I raised you. Like, you don't understand, but I'm just here with my dog, blah, blah, blah. I'm helping him. And I'm just repeating over and over. "I don't know you. No, you need to leave. I don't know you. You need to leave right now. I'm calling the police. You need to leave right now." And so she started hustling once I started, like, being like, "I'm going to call the police."
Yeah.
But, like, I didn't really want to move from where I was. Like, I'm standing on the staircase. And because she's right next to my little brother. And I don't know what the heck she's going to do. I don't recognize this lady. And she's insisting that she almost raised me when I wasn't raised in Canada.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, no. So she, like, I'm repeating over and over, and she leaves out the front door without much hassle, taking the dog with her, which was good. And so, like, as soon as she leaves, like, I lock the front door, and I go over to the side door, and I lock that, and I run down to the garage door, and I go and I make sure that door was locked, thankfully, but, like, have everything else locked up, and I just, like, sit down and cry for a bit.
Oh, girl.
Understandable.
In the living room.
Yep.
And my younger brother is, like, just completely confused. And I was just like, that was a strange lady that was in our house. And then, like, my second thought was, Shasta, what a useless dog. Like, you bark at the postman like you're gonna, you wanna, like, rip him to shreds, and then a crazy lady comes into our house and you do nothing?
Wowies.
Oh, terrible
Shasta,
dog.
please.
Shasta, please, terrible dog. So, I called my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And they were actually at the furniture store that's pretty nearby-ish. And so they're like, I explaining as clearly as possible to them. I was like, there was a strange lady in our house. You need to come home now. And they're like, is she gone? And I was like, yeah, she left. You need to come home right now. And so, like, Dad called the police and was giving the description of the lady and everything. And the officer asked if she took anything from the house. And I'm like, I don't know. I was, like, stressed out of my brain. So I'm walking around with Mom DM. We're walking around the house in, like, the area that I saw her in. And we go out to the backyard, and her backpack is there.
Oh.
And we're just like, this is crazy lady's backpack.
Yeah.
And while we're outside, like, with the backpack, I hear another neighbor down the street saying, "Hey, how did you get in here?"
Oh my gosh.
She's right there.
She was still there. She was still in, like, she had only made it like 3 houses down.
She was just walking in everyone else's house?
Yep. She was trying all, like, the handles on things, and she let herself into the backyard of a neighbor.
Oh my gosh.
Who, sweeter older man that's also part of, like, the special needs care group locally. So he was, like, very good at being, like, very calm talking to her and things. And thankfully the police officer came pretty quickly and, like, stopped over near that house there, because we were just like, that's the lady, that's her, that's the crazy lady, that's her. And he handled everything, like, super duper well, and, like, it was very, very smooth going. Like, he got her into the car, he was very polite and everything. He made sure, like, AC was on for her. It was during summertime. And he was like, he talked with her a bit, and she couldn't remember who she was. And she didn't know where she was.
And yet she tried to say that she almost raised you?
Yes.
That seems
But she couldn't, like, it seems a little, like, but she was, like, insisting over and over she didn't know, like, who she was or what was going on, blah, blah, blah. And so we wound up giving the backpack over to the officer, and he checked open the top, and there are 2 pairs of license plates in her backpack.
Oh.
And the officer took it out and was like, and that's not a good sign. I'm gonna take her down to the station.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So, yeah, that was my actual, like, me actually being petrified with fear kind of reaction. Because if that would have been, like, a not a crazy lady,
right? If it had been, like, someone who was intending violence,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I would have had to run back upstairs and get my sword.
Panic. Panic with a K. Panic.
Panic with a K. 2K panic. Yeah,
oh my
that was that. Yep, so what had happened was Mom DM had forgotten to lock the front door after she was checking the garden, because her and Dad DM decided that they were going to go to the furniture store. So
Mom
I was
DM.
just like, yep, I was just like, afterwards I was like, you need to triple check the lock every single time. I do not want this to happen again. That was way too stressful. This was terrifying.
That was way too stressful. Just a little.
It was scary. Just a tiny, tiny bit stressful. But yeah.
My gosh.
So Kai.
Okay. Like I said, I saved my most disappointing story for last. So realistically, in order to spook... Mostly, I think this will spook Harune. In order to spook Harune, this is really going to test my storytelling chops. I'm going to need to make the uninteresting interesting. And the unscary quite scary.
So you're going to lie to me?
No, it's all the truth. It's all the truth. Maybe slightly exaggerated truth, just for effect, but the truth. You're both lactose intolerant, yes?
Yes.
Do you know what a Reese's peanut butter cup is?
Yeah?
Yes. I used to eat those a lot.
They're delicious and terrible.
I love them, and I'm
okay,
upset
so
that
at least
I
you
can't
have a
eat them
frame of
anymore.
reference of what a Reese's peanut butter cup looks like.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Okay, yes, okay. I promise this is going to play into the story somehow. On campus, unlike the previous story, we've actually got a pleasant atmosphere. It was like coming October, November kind of thing, like right near the end of fall, just before winter really set in. It was like a Saturday, kind of sunny, partly cloudy. There was a gentle breeze. It was quite chilly. Just walking around, and I didn't have my mittens with me that day, so I just like had my hands stuffed in my pockets, walking along the campus. It's a Saturday, of course, so not many people on campus that day. Relatively, quiet everywhere. I was just enjoying a bit of a stroll to the next building over. Mm-hmm. And pull my hands out. They were getting a little bit like too sweaty in the pockets, but too chilly out there. So I was like alternating between here and there, here and there. Mm-hmm. Was just like an unpleasant feeling all around. I get up to the building, and it's perfectly normal. It's as it should be. One of the professors come out of the building and wave at me, and I wave back, and it's all fine and dandy. But the door closes before I manage to get up to the door, because he was coming down the stairs. I was still on my way up the stairs. Mm-hmm. And so, I open the door to go in. And as my hand rests on the door pulling, it's like the big pulley doors, it's not like you don't hold onto the bar to pull. Mm-hmm. It's like got like kind of like a wooden, the big push plates, like metal plates that say push when you push on a door.
Oh, yeah.
It's like one of those, but it's like you hook your hand behind it to pull instead.
Okay.
So I hook my hand behind it to pull the door open, and I feel something like against my palm. And I'm like, ooh, it's kind of moist.
I hope it's not chewing gum.
So I thought it must have been chewing gum, but then I realized no, the moistness was from the sweat on my hands from when I had it in my pocket. Mm-hmm. And then I felt it flutter.
What?
Ooh.
I swear, probably if I whipped my hand back any faster, I would have dislocated a shoulder. I threw my hand behind me. I kind of did like a backstroke crawl.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I just threw my hand behind me, like flicking my wrist, making sure nothing was in my hand.
Yeah.
And from behind that little like door handle crawled a mosquito.
Ooh.
Very uncommon sight in this weather at this season.
Uh-huh.
It was a mosquito the size of a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It was absolutely massive.
No, that's the it looks kind of like a daddy long leg.
It had very long legs, yes.
Yeah, those aren't mosquitoes. They can't bite you.
Oh, okay.
They're friendly.
It very much looked like a mosquito.
Yeah, they look like mosquitoes.
I've got a very bad history of mosquitoes. I had 3 mosquitoes bite me on the knee in the same day. My knee swole up so big, I couldn't bend my leg.
Ha ha. You're allergic to mosquito venom.
Yeah, I am. So yeah, in my head, it was just an absolutely massive mosquito in my hand. I kicked the door open. I kicked up. It's very rude. Don't normally do this, but I straight up just like did a jump kick on the the wheelchair button just to get the door to automatically open. And then like I got inside. There's a second set of doors. I like jump kicked that button too.
Yeah.
And then I like sprinted to the bathroom and like jump kicked through the doors.
Yeah.
Some very unfortunate guy was pooping in there, and it was like he got a bit of spook. But I was just like scrubbing my hands, just like
you just assisted with the force. You're fine.
I was just standing there scrubbing for so long, like.
Kai was traumatized by the spider fly.
That's amazing.
Is that what it's called, the spider fly?
I think, my area we call them spider flies, but there were quite a few of them. They're harmless. They're just massive flappy bugs.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're harmless. They don't even feel like anything.
Well, it felt fluttery against my palm, and I'm not good with that.
You're not good with the flutters?
No.
I'm not good with insects in general. I've learned to tolerate them, but I still, because like I'm the one that usually has to deal with insects in the house now. And we don't do the thing like I used to do the thing where I like let them crawl on a piece of paper and I flick them out the window kind of thing.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah.
But
Harune's like, murder them.
Yeah. Mama Kai says if I let them live, they'll just come back. So.
Oh.
I'm not particularly fond of the squishing sensation.
Yeah.
Like when they pop.
Ooh.
Yeah.
and it's juicy.
Why would you describe it like that?
That's what's spooky. That's what's freaking me out.
Is that spooky? Like,
as someone who has to deal with insects in the house as well, when I squish them, and that's what, like, I will specifically get tons and tons of either toilet paper or layer up the paper towel, or layer up the tissue, so I do not feel the pop and squish sensation. It's
like a pop and then a crunch, and then it's just juicy.
Oh, yeah. Like, I just, like, if it's a spider, we have one of those spider catcher thingies that has, like, the thread things at the bottom of it. So you just, like, pull the trigger on it and it opens, and then you put it around the spider and you, like, release the trigger and it closes too fast for the spider to leave. And then it just holds it in place gently, and then I just take them outside.
I've always wanted one of those, but I forgot what the name was. Isn't it just called a spider catcher?
It might be. I don't know. We got it as a Christmas present, and it's pretty great. Like, I'll go and grab it because it's like 3 feet long, and so you stay far enough away from the spiders. You can get them off the ceiling super quick without them dropping on you. It's nice. And then you just, like, take it in the front yard, and you're like, haha, spider, get out of here.
Like, I remember seeing commercials for that years ago, and they have never left my mind. I always think about them every time.
They work. They're great. I love it. It's awesome.
Oh my god!
Even if it's on the ceiling, I just have to get like a Kleenex and a stool, and I have to like reach up there.
When I was in the house I lived in when I was in like middle school, in springtime we tended to get a lot of ants inside of the house just because the ground outside was too wet for them, and so they would come inside the house. So my older brother and I discovered that ants can't walk past soap.
Oh.
Like dish soap.
Oh.
So we would make ant camps.
Oh.
we would just make like a whole bunch of circles with dish soap while we were doing the dishes, and any ants that we found while we were doing the dishes would go into the circle. And then when we were done with doing the dishes, we would of course like get a piece of paper towel or whatever and wipe up the ant camps, and they would all die because of the soap. But we would, just for the hour or two we were doing the dishes, we would have little ant camps in circles of dish soap on the countertop. A couple times our parents came in and were like, "What are you guys doing?" We're just like, we're holding the ants.
We're preventing them from terrorizing you. You're welcome.
Exactly. We're helping.
We're the last line of defense.
Morbid little kids, me and my brother. Morbid.
We're the last line of defense.
Okay, so my final story. My final story actually took place in a haunted house.
Ooh.
Just the regular like attraction type. So my hometown used to every year there'd be this really big haunted house, maze type one, so you'd have to follow a guide to go through it. It's the same type, the same one that I wound up working in later. But when I was in elementary school, we would just go through it normally. And every time I would be really, really scared. But Mom Diamond would be like, no, honey, it's fine. The monsters aren't allowed to touch you in this one, because it wasn't the type that you needed to like sign a waiver or anything to go through. The monsters weren't allowed to touch you. It was just like the jump scare experience kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this was my first time through it. I think I was like in 3rd grade or something. So I was pretty spooked. And each section I still remember was like themed after famous horror monsters, and like there was a Black Lagoon section that you had to go over a bridge, and like the monster guy came out from underneath the bridge. They put a ton of effort in. Like they had fog machines running everywhere too. It was super cool. In retrospect, it was super cool. But anyway, so we're going through, and I'm scared out of my mind. Like, I'm being jump scared. I know they're not going to touch me. And my mom had already explained to me, hey, these are all just people. They're actors. It's just they're pretending to be scary, blah, blah, blah. But of course, I'm still going to be scared. I'm in 3rd grade. And so we're walking through, and we finally get to the last section. And I can see the exit door, like, up ahead. And I'm just like, oh, thank goodness, we're almost done. Okay. And so, like, I'm walking forward. I'm, like, I step it up a bit because I'm like, I want to get out. I want to leave. And there's, like, the pathway is lined with coffins because it was, like, the vampire-y section. And as I'm, like, walking near the front of the group, one of the coffins on the right side opens, and I get pulled inside.
Uh-oh.
And I'm screaming bloody murder, and like a hand goes over my mouth.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like I'm being like held tightly inside the coffin.
What the heck?
And like I'm freaking out, like I'm starting to cry, whatever. And then I hear shh, 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 it's me. It was my dad.
Oh my god.
He was working in the haunted house, and he was in the last section.
Oh my
And I didn't know.
gosh.
I didn't know. I knew he was in the haunted house, but I thought we had already passed him. And so he had just listened for like me and my mom's voices. And he just pulled me in.
Oh my gosh.
So mom left the haunted house without me because like you have to keep going with the group, and she knew which section he was in. She just didn't tell me. And so like I was like scared out of my mind, like almost in tears, and like my dad was like calmed me down once I realized it was him. This was like
how to betray your daughter's trust in 2 easy steps.
Oh, don't worry, he's done it multiple times. There's more stories of Dad DM, but
oh my goodness.
So yeah, like to make it up to me, he was like, "Okay, the next group is coming. Do you want to scare him with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." Because of course, like once I knew it was my dad. I was like, "It's fine, it's fine."
Right.
But,
all of a
yeah,
sudden,
so
it becomes a prop and not a scary scenario.
Not a scary scenario, but just like the feeling of unexpectedly just being grabbed by a strong force, and you know you can't escape.
That is terrifying.
And just being like pulled in there, and you have like there's nothing you can do, and the door doesn't open.
That's really spooky.
Yeah.
That's really terrifying. Holy crap.
Good times.
Oh,
good
thanks,
times.
Dad DM.
Thanks, Dad DM.
TY. Ruined my day.
Childhood ruined. Yes!
Nice.
We done did it. We done diddly did it.
We did it. We did it. Spooks. Good old spooks. My dad and his friends liked to spook people a lot. Like my dad grew up in California.
Mm-hmm.
And in California, like they have Disneyland, and Disneyland has like the Halloween version.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
But
we've got something similar here too.
Yeah, but very close to Disneyland, there's another theme park called Knott's Berry Farm.
I feel like I've heard of it.
Probably. It's another, like, decently well-known theme park there. And in Halloween, it's Knott's Scary Farm. So, my dad and his friends used to wait outside of some of, like, the roller coaster ride things. And it would be, like, October, so they would be wearing long sleeves at that point. And so they would pull their long sleeves, like, up over their head a bit, and then pull it so, like, the sleeves were covering their hands, so you had, like, the wobbly arms at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then when people were, like, freaked out leaving the haunted, I think it was a haunted roller coaster ride, and you'd come out of, like, a cave thing at the end when you're walking out, right? My dad and his friends would be waiting there in the dark, going, "Wah!" with their sleeves and everything. So, yeah, my dad and his friends are trolls.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Yeah.
Good times.
I very much remember going trick-or-treating with my brother when he was still but a wee lad.
Mm-hmm.
He must have been like somewhere between the age of 4 to 6, I think. So still really just quite a baby. Doesn't really
baby man.
All he understands is it's candy holiday. He doesn't quite understand that it's supposed to be scary holiday. Like school and everything still really babied them with the cutesy decorations and the pumpkins and this and that. Took them trick-or-treating, and around that neighborhood at the time, everyone was like, you know, relatively child-friendly costumes. You got like Jolly Witch, you've got like the Pumpkin Man, da-da-da. There was one house that was decorated very scarily. So we specifically said we would avoid that house for my brother. I'd go up and get candy for him too.
Aww.
The house like further down the street had a scarecrow sitting in front of the door. It was like not that it's not decorated too spookily, but there was a scarecrow sitting in front of the door. And as we were walking up the driveway, I already noticed this scarecrow is wearing running shoes. And is bouncing its leg quite impatiently.
Oh no.
So I knew exactly what was going on. And I didn't say a word.
You're terrible. You're a terrible brother.
The fact that my parents didn't jump, I think they realized too, but they let they took my brother by the hand and led him up to the door. and the gentleman the gentleman dressed as the scarecrow sitting outside the door was just like boo, boogity boogity boo, boo, or something to that effect. We like they had like pretty wide, long steps.
Mm-hmm.
Like even as an adult, you would probably take like 2 steps per, two paces per. Yeah, 2 steps per stair to like get up, and there's like 3 or 4 stairs to get up to the door. So for my brother at the time, such a baby, it was like a marathon to get there. Pretty sure he like sprinted across one stair, did a little hop down to the next one, sprinted to the next one, hopped down to the next one, ran a little further, hopped down to the next one, got to the pavement, and then just flopped over, crying.
Oh no.
He waited until he got all the way down the stairs before he just tripped or whatever. I don't know. It's like it was really fun. It was like hop, 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 plop, wee.
Shouldn't laugh at little Kai's misery, but little brother Kai.
Little brother.
Little brother.
No,
Kai.
it's the brother,
Little
so
No, yeah.
We're
But
we're allowed to laugh. It's the little brother.
Yeah. I very much remember too thinking it's just like, because before he started bouncing the leg, I just saw like the running shoes and like the bottom of the jeans, and I'm just like, wow,
yeah.
they put a lot of effort dressing up this scarecrow. And then it started moving, and I'm like,
Naruhodo. I get it now.
I see what is going on.
Amazing. I don't know if I shared this story before, but for about 2 or 3 years, I think it was probably 2. I cosplayed as, are you guys familiar with American Horror Story?
A little bit, yeah.
I'm Canadian, sorry.
Well, you don't need to be American to know of the show.
Kai didn't have his own little witch group when he was in middle school. He doesn't know.
No, we were just the weebs.
But
yeah, you can be both.
Yeah, exactly. I was both. But
this was said, I'm just the weebs. We only had the weebdom.
Oh,
lame.
I see.
But if you're familiar with, so I think it's like season 3 or 4. It's called Asylum.
Oh, yeah. Asylum was the really popular one.
Yes, exactly. So their sort of promotional image was this nun decked out all in white.
Yes, yeah.
White face paint, and then her eyes are black, and she's like crying black tears. Or like this like thick black tar. That was my cosplay for...
Oh, I hate this. I hate this. I just Googled it. I hate this.
Nice.
Oh.
Harune, you should do that as a Halloween outfit for your...
I still have it.
For your avatar. For your avatar.
Oh, like as this?
Yeah.
If it's in V-Roid.
Yeah, in
I would
V-Roid.
love to. Maybe
Hey,
maybe next year.
I'm gonna unsubscribe from your life if you do that. How about hey?
Okay. Can we get it done sooner, Harune?
I don't think I can get it done by like this week. Besides, I want Kai as a fuendo, and I don't want him to unsubscribe. We need him here for GHK.
True.
Even though we always joke that we can replace him easily.
There's other Ks out there, right? There's other K VTubers. You're good.
That's true. There are a couple of other Ks, but
there's other Kais too.
D. I know D's been vying for a spot, but I hate this so much. I keep looking at it.
I love it so much. I saw that and I was like, cool. I need to be this.
This was the first spook I had all night. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, we did it.
I'm very squeamish when it comes to like wet looking horror, like gore, the swamp creatures.
Oh, okay. So like the horror stuff when they like open their mouth and a whole bunch of like bugs and goop comes out is bad for you?
Okay, let me put it in perspective for you, yeah? Okay. A friend of mine in school, grade school, brought a theater pamphlet for when Lord of the Rings, the movie, was in theaters. I could not look at the orc. I could not touch the pamphlet. I could not be... like, every time he left the room, I would turn the magazine, like, over so it wouldn't look at me.
Slimy goop.
I was like picking up the magazine by the corners so my fingers wouldn't have to touch the orc.
Kai.
Because, like, the orc had a bit of, like, blood and spittle on him, and I'm just like... it's going to be wet and squishy. But I mean, it's like magazine paper, so it's just, you know what it is. I to this day, if you show me any picture that's just like wet and squishy, I still like, it would take me a second to prepare myself to touch the picture.
So like earthworms and mud is not a good thing for you.
Worms I've grown to accept because I like fishing.
Okay. Intestines.
Raw meat I can handle, but if you asked me to gut a fish, it would take me a bit of time to get comfortable with it.
Oh, okay. So those kinds of guts aren't Kai friendly.
I'm not a fan of the slimy. I'm not a fan of like the sticky, gooey, slurpy noises.
Slurp. Oh, that's right. That's why in what was it?
You're gonna talk about the butter thing, aren't you?
Well, I wasn't, but that does explain a lot. But was it in? What was it? What game was it when I was playing? Was it when I was playing the Sandman? There's some sort of squishy sound, and you were like not about it. You were so disgusted. I just remember you seeing it like in chat. You're like, ugh, the noises. Or was that something that we watched recently? I don't know. I know it was recent, but I can't remember how recent. But I do remember you were like very adamant. You're like that squish sound. Why? Why was that a thing?
Yeah, I'm.
That kind of reminds me of a friend.
Makes my skin crawl. Makes my stomach turn over.
A friend of mine in elementary school. He really liked playing Sim Ant.
Mm-hmm.
Like on the old computers, and in Sim Ant, it's like Sim City, but you're an ant. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really
and you control. Yeah, you can control the individual ants. So you know how like when you're feeding them, it does like the squishy sound.
Like
it's like this really. It's really like goopy sounding when they give them the food. Because you can exchange food because you carry food. You're an ant, right? And you can feed it to the other ones, and you'll hear this like super squishy sound. And so this friend of mine, really liked playing Sim Ant, but every time he heard that sound, it made him throw up. So he would have to run to the bathroom and throw up, and he would come back over so he could keep playing Sim Ant.
Why doesn't he just mute?
We're like he was like in 3rd grade. He's not thinking that far.
That's so funny.
So Kai, is that accurate for you, sir?
I don't know. I feel like I've got a weird synesthesia when it comes to fear. Like, I associate sounds with fear more than I do anything else. Or like just a general discomfort from sound. Because I might have told one of you this story. I don't remember if I finished telling the story. But when it gets really cold here up in Canada, sometimes we have frosted windshields when we get in the car in the morning. So we've got these like ice scrapers that you would scrape the ice off the windshield.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I scrape ice off my car all the time.
Yeah, ice scraper.
I absolutely hate that noise.
But that's not the same as being squishy.
I don't know why though, but like somehow whenever I was sitting in the car when my dad scraped the ice as a kid, that noise,
it's like amplified when you're sitting in the car.
I don't know why. The thought of scraping just made my stomach turn a little bit. And then in my head as a child, it connected as something is scraping my stomach.
Oh.
So just watching my dad scrape layers of the ice away more and more, and my stomach would turn more and more, and then like that strengthened the image in my head. So it became kind of like a self-fulfilling, like horror, where I keep thinking something's scraping my stomach, something's scraping my stomach. So I kind of like synesthesia the squishy guts into that scraping noise, and I'm just like, I hate it here. So now that I'm older and he makes me scrape the ice, I'm the controller of my own destiny, and like I know where the noise is coming from. It's coming from my own hands, so I'm like not as bothered by the scraping of ice. But no, I remember growing up as a kid, I would sit in the car and my dad would be nice enough to like bring blankets for me and my brother in the car.
Aww.
And I would just like throw it over my head and cover my ears when he scrapes the ice.
Aww. Sad.
I just couldn't stand that noise, and I still, to this day, the worst monster designs are the ones that look moist.
The moist ones.
Can't have those moist monsters.
Yeah. Ugh.
But, yeah, so when I can't remember if it was my first or second year of being that ghost nun.
Yeah.
And so what I did to get the eyes to look black is instead of, like, buying just sclera lenses, because I was still in high school and I didn't really know what that even was.
Yeah.
So, I just bought black and white face paint, painted my whole face white, and then I painted my eyelids black.
Oh, yeah.
And then just took the black paint and then just trailed it down my face to make it look like tears. Now, to get all of that ready, you know, to have the time to put on the amount of thick face paint layering that you need to do to get your skin from looking peachy to, like, flat white, took quite some time. Plus, driving to the con took some time. You wanted to get there early because for some reason this con was, like, pretty not great in terms of organization. Like, you could pre-order a 3-day pass, but you couldn't pre-order a 1-day.
Oh.
So if you wanted to go there for 1 day, then you had to just stand in line, and it was, you know, a first come first served thing. So we would have to drive there super early just to get in line. And I remember, like, my friend was driving and I was sitting in the back and I was, like, sort of sleepily staring out the window, so my eyes weren't, like, completely open. They were sort of half closed. And I looked over and there was a girl driving along, like, in the car next to us. Like, she was a passenger as well. She's not looking at me. She's kind of sort of looking ahead. And she turns her head and she, like, startles back. And she startled back, and the face, or the expression on her face was, like, of such shock, and she jerked back so suddenly that I jerked back too, and I was like, "What? Did she see something in the car?" And then I was like, "Wait, no, it's me."
Wait.
It's my face she's terrified of. So, but I had, like, totally forgotten, like, what I looked like, and so I was like, she got scared, and then I got scared, and I was like, "Wait, no, it's just me. It's just me. It's fine."
Goodness gracious.
But I really liked that cosplay. I love being scary things for Halloween.
Yeah,
and that was really
things are fun.
Yes. My dream Halloween costume was 2 things: no face, Colonesi.
Yes, nice. Yeah.
And the sacrifice from oh my gosh, now I'm blanking. Where is it? Not Symphony Fantastique. Ugh, it's the Rite of Spring. The Rite of Spring ballet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice.
Because that costume is very, very jarring, and the movements and things like that. So I would love. That's my dream. That's my number 1 dream. But no face is a very close second.
No face would be awesome.
Yes, because I just want to do something quiet and, like, spooky.
My Halloween costume, like, the one that I remember, like, being super insistent on was, like, 3rd grade. I wanted to be a zombie princess.
Oh, cute! Hey,
so
look at you now.
Look at me now. Like, mom DM, she saw, like, this Halloween outfit. She's like, "Oh, it's zombie princess again." And I was like, ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. But I did that, and then when I worked in the actual haunted house, I had to, like, dress up, be spooky, and, like, when I wasn't being a monster inside, I would usually be a guide, and when I was a guide, it was usually, like, definitely, like, macabre looking, kind of, like, hanged spirit sort of setup. So, like, lots of bruising makeup and like, fake blood drips and stuff. Fun times.
Yay! I love being spooky. I'm just not spooky enough.
I'm not spooky in general, so, like, dressing up as a spooky and having people being like, "Whoa, you're spooky."
Yes!
Yes, I did it.
Exactly.
I'm no longer cute. I am the scary one.
Kai's just a big baby.
Kai's
Poor
a big
Babby.
I still don't play horror games, and I don't watch horror movies. I'm not about it.
Oh.
Hey, Kai, did you ever play World of Warcraft?
No.
Oh, darn it.
I spent 6 years of my life in Mabinogi.
Oh, right. When you get a chance, look up World of Warcraft Abomination and tell me how you think of it.
World of Warcraft Abomination.
Tell me how you think of it.
Oh, he looks like that one guy from, Oh, he's the guy, from that one MOBA that Blizzard did.
Oh, yeah, Heroes of the Storm?
Heroes of the Storm. Didn't he have a name?
Yeah, there was a two-hand... There was
No,
there
not
a
Cho'Gall,
one?
not Cho'Gall, not
No,
Cho'Gall.
not Cho'Gall. I don't remember. But that's, yeah, an abomination. One of my friends was gonna make that as a cosplay for BlizzCon.
Ooh.
And do the whole thing with, like, prosthetics and have, like... She has SFX makeup stuff that makes it look like the intestines look really squishy and gooey.
Oh, heck yes.
Ugh.
And like having stuff that looks like slime goop coming out, but it would just be like actually like stay in the right spot.
Oh, that's so exciting. I love that kind of stuff. That's so cool. Sci-fi
so
makeup
he
artists are so good.
Mm-hmm.
He's Stitches from Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah. Stitches is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, my friend main Stitches, so I got kind of used to that image.
Got it. Okay, fair enough.
You're like, oh, darn.
Darn it. I was hoping it would be... Oh, well, don't worry, Kai. I'll get you a something.
Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for spooky season to be over. I'm like, Christmas, Pog,
What?
Valentine's,
No.
Pog,
I love
Thanksgiving,
spooky.
You like
Pog.
Valentine's Day, Kai?
I like February 15th.
Ciao.
Chocolate.
70% off day.
I mean,
Chocolate.
I like the concept of Valentine's Day. I just admire it from afar.
Oh, that's the saddest sentence I've heard all day.
Well, thank you
I mean-
everybody for coming to our Halloween edition of GHK Radio. Have a super spooky and safe holiday. Remember to follow coronavirus COVID safety procedures and hopefully wear something that has a mask so that you don't contaminate others.
Hey, all you single lads out there, you want a real spooky story? Let me tell you about my Valentine's.
Okay.
I can't wait. I can't wait until we do our Valentine's Day special. That's going to be so fun.
It will be fun.
Like, you guys, I've told this story before. You guys remember, right?
It depends which story.
Yeah, like, the only Valentine's chocolate I've received in the last, like, several years
Oh, okay, I remember
was
that one.
when, like, a coworker threw a fistful of M&Ms on my desk and then walked away. Not even a bag of M&Ms. Like, she reached in the bag, pulled out a fistful,
disgusting.
and then just like scattered it on my desk.
That is disgusting. And then
Nice.
then you pulled out your trash can and you sweeped them all in. You just went.
Oh no, I ate them.
He ate them.
bruh.
I ate them.
Wait, is your coworker a girl?
Yes.
Of course he ate them.
Needed
There
to
you go.
eat the
There you go.
ham taste.
Delicious. Hand M&Ms. Yum.
I mean, I've eaten food other people hand to me before. Like, it's not that weird. Just the way she presented it was kind of
like, okay.
She was like a crop duster walking down all the cubicles, just like tossing handfuls of. She's like laying the seeds down at the rice paddy, just like throwing down M&Ms, throwing down M&Ms.
I see.
I had a friend tell me, like, when he was growing up, the worst, like, Halloween candy thing he was ever given was a handful of Skittles out of a cooking pot.
Oh no.
So she had just, like, reached down, just grabbed a handful, and then just dropped it in his Halloween bag.
Oh no.
And it wasn't even in the original bag, it was, like, in a pot. Why a pot? I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty cringe.
It's spooky, right? It's spooky. Spooky.
Spoopy.
Spooky.
But yeah.
But yeah, no, Valentine's pretty pog, I guess. Let's look forward to that special chat.
Well,
We're gonna have a Christmas special too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah.
Wait, would we have a Christmas and a New Year's one? Or like just one? Because
I
those are
think-
pretty close together.
I think usually they do one, and then we would just say
Usually
Merry
one.
Christmas and Happy New Year and blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah. Oh, Kai, does your family do the red envelopes?
Yes?
Can you send them to me? Thank you. Okay.
恭喜发财，红包拿来！恭喜恭喜，耶
Yay!
耶！
That's a little early, but alright.
Now you're
Red
cursed
envelopes,
because you
though.
said it early.
Oh no.
I still get
don't wanna
those
be
because I'm
cursed.
not married yet. It's supposed to be like the unmarried members of the family get them from the married members of the family.
Wow, our marriage is a joke to you. I see. Understandable.
I divorced Nane too, so.
Oh, no, okay, so this was all voluntary. That's why Kai wants to get the envelopes. He's prepping for this season.
He marries for all the benefits, and then he divorces for all the benefits, and then he finds a new wife.
Yep, that's how it works. It starts with hand M&Ms. Watch out, okay?
Starts with hand M&Ms.
Gotta taste those fingies.
Goodness. Delicious.
You guys are really giving me an image.
I mean,
I'm so glad listeners are going to associate this with Domo and not me.
That's what I was going to say.
Speaking of fingies.
Domo loves the fingers.
Oh,
just wants to have a taste of his people, Or how does it go?
I'm sorry.
Okay. So,
I'm doomed. He's gonna cancel me. He has the sway to cancel me. I'm done.
So,
thank you all so much for joining us on our Halloween special. Thank you so much for sitting through and sharing all of your stories with me, co-hosts Girl DM and Nemurenai Kai. Also, it doesn't have to end. It doesn't have to be the end-all be-all just because Halloween has passed. Episode 3 of GHK, if at any point it receives 200 likes and 1,000 views, we're going to get Kai to play Phasmophobia. I don't care if Halloween is over.
Yes.
There is
Yep.
spooks all year long. Make the dream a reality, people. Send it to your friends and family. They don't even have to watch it. Put it on mute. Just let the video play and refresh and play and come back another day.
That's not how we promote our podcast. Please listen to our podcast.
Please listen to it if you can, but otherwise just put it in the background. You know what? If you work in a computer store, just pull it up on all of the computers that you have at
simultaneously, or have them only 2 seconds apart, and have it echo throughout the store.
Beautiful. It's a work of art. It'll resonate.
There you go. But thank you all so much for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful and safe Halloween. And just like Girl DM said, please continue to follow CDC guidelines for COVID-19 prevention. Be safe. Remember, wash your hands. Don't eat the candy people give you from their fingies. Don't be like Kai.
Don't do that.
Don't do a Kai.
Especially with the current status of the world right now, you really don't want to eat finger M&Ms right now. When Kai did it, it was okay.
Kind of.
But now it's definitely not okay.
It was last February. It's fine.
This time it's definitely not.
There you go. And we hope you have a wonderful and safe Halloween. それでは皆さん、またね。
Bye bye.
Bye bye.